So we essentially got nothing out of it. It's hurt our economy and increased expenses for the everyday American, and it accomplished the square root of nothing.
Among 13 Wisconsin swing voters, none thought the conflict in Iran was worth it. 10 thought it clearly wasn't, and 3 weren't sure. And 9 of the respondents said that they thought the US came out weaker, while 4 said there was no change.
Nothing good happened. Nothing. I mean, not even for Israel. They got the shit bombed out of them. So did Iran. Bibi stayed out of jail. That's about it.
The Strait of Hormuz was open before, and now during the war it was closed for a short time. And then also in the deal, it's speculated that there won't be any type of regulation of the nuclear facilities or any kind of inspection, which with the previous bill or previous deal with President Obama, there had to be inspections routinely to receive the money that was guaranteed.
I just don't think the way that everybody else had to suffer through the tantrums of these two playing tug of war. I just don't think that it was fair to the American people. I don't think that anybody was a real winner here. I think we just suffered in the midst of them playing tug of war.
I just don't think that bloodshed is the answer. There's better ways to solve things.
I don't think that this current agreement talked about nuclear weapons. Isn't that a big part of why we went in there?
In 10 years, will I be concerned about Iran's nuclear weapons? Probably. But right now, I don't think that the effort or the blood and treasure that it would take to confront the issue definitively is worth it to the country, at least in the state that we're in right now. I don't think that the economy and regular people can absorb the price shocks and the service member deaths that it would take to definitively solve the issue.
As America marks its semi-quincentennial, we asked whether swing voters are doing it in celebration or in sorrow. Turns out none are in sorrow. 7 are celebrating, and the other 6 are feeling various degrees of ambivalence. Those celebrating said things like this.
I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to live in the USA. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. It's a land of the free.
I think the last portion of what Miss Linda said really captures it for me. I'd still rather live in America than any other country in the world, and it's not even close.
I think America is more than the sum of the last 4 years. And if you look at the whole aggregate of where it started to where we are now, there's more positive than negative.
Family tradition. There's things to look forward to amongst the family.
When's the last time we had a war on our soil? On US soil?
Okay.
I don't know. I just think that's something to be proud of. We don't, I mean, there's bad things happening in the US, but we're not getting bombed or, invaded, or we got issues, but we still got, our personal TVs, video games, what our kids can play outside. So I'll be in celebration.
Just celebration of our Constitution that's been in effect, and celebrate all the accomplishments the country has done for the last 250 years, even if they weren't good or everything was good, but just celebrate our strengths.
Out of everything that's happened in the last 250 years, I don't want to diminish any of the accomplishments that we have made by the things lately that have tarnished it. I still would rather stay positive and hopeful and celebrate everything we've done.
The ambivalent ones said this.
I don't think I can celebrate, but I'm also not sorrowful. I'm undecided.
I'm stuck in the middle. I mean, there's some things I could celebrate, but then there's a lot of things that I'm in sorrow for.
So it's hard to kind of celebrate how far America has come when I see America going so far back. If that makes sense.
Trump has just made the America 250 thing feel dirty. I mean, with the UFC fight over the weekend, and it just, I mean, I plan on treating this year like any other July 4th and, having a family observance, but the 250 anniversary just feels yucky to me now.
Speaking of that recent UFC event, I asked what these swing voters would want to convey to President Trump on his 80th birthday. Keep in mind that 10 of these 13 Biden to Trump voters disapprove of the current administration.
I would have bought you a cake, but I can't afford one, but happy birthday.
It must really feel good to be able to do whatever you want on your birthday.
Yeah.
America doesn't have that luxury, but he does.
Just happy birthday, and please think about us and all of us in America who are not millionaires.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. What are you doing to ensure that, when we get to the age that you are, that we're going to have, the America that, we grew up learning about and, can continue to be, one of the top nations, in the world.
I'm laughing because I don't even know what to say. Happy birthday, you old fart. I don't know.
Can we please make this next year a year of servant leadership?
On the question of leadership, we wanted to know how these swing voters view candidates in other states with what you'd call complicated backgrounds. To do this, we described the controversy surrounding Graham Plattner and Ken Paxton. Most of our respondents were unfamiliar with either of them. What we learned is that all 13 think most politicians have skeletons in their closets. In a totally hypothetical situation where Plattner and Paxton were running for different offices hypothetically in Wisconsin, and their respective opponents were unappealing, 7 swing voters would vote for Plattner, Paxton, or both. Here's how they rationalize that vote.
It's just like if I have 2 negative consequences that I have to make a choice between, I'm going to go with the one that's slightly a little bit more tolerable.
It's important that we understand what they're trying to do and not just their personality or, opinions, you know what I mean? Like our opinion shouldn't matter so much of them, more as focusing on what they're really trying to do, and what they can get done.
For me, it would have to be whether these claims were substantiated. I think that people can get accused of a lot of things in life, and for both of them are pretty, disgusting things on, both sides. But like, are they substantiated? Like, if you were found not guilty by the Texas Senate, one of our fundamental principles of our country. From a law and order standpoint is innocent until proven guilty.
The fact that Paxton's wife is divorcing him on biblical grounds isn't troubling it to you as a consideration?
I don't think that you and your wife, you cheating on your wife, it's definitely morally reprehensible, but that's like a personal matter. For me, that's separate to you and your ability to run potentially the Senate, one of the Senate seats in Texas.
After this part of the conversation, I told respondents about Plattner's redemption narrative. 10 said they believe in stories like his. Here's why.
I'm 24 and a half years sober. 24 and a half years ago, you wouldn't have let me on this panel. So I speak from experience and the story of redemption and where I was to where I've come now, and I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've experienced it.
Everybody has done and said things online or just done and said things in general that they grew out of or regret or didn't mean or whatever the case may be. And in Graham Plattner's case, he took responsibility for the things that he's done, and there's absolutely no indication that he continues to hold those beliefs, or even for that matter that he ever was in fact a Nazi.
Let's discuss the economy. 9 of these respondents say they're more economically anxious now than when President Trump returned to office. 12 blame the president for higher gas prices due to the Iran war. 6 said they had to give up something that had been a regular part of their lives in order to make ends meet. Things like these.
And all my extracurricular hobbies, paddleboarding, paddleboarding, yoga, and then a lot of my subscriptions I've cut out along with my daily coffee, which is minor, but all things that I've had to give up to make ends meet.
I had to raise all my deductibles on everything, my car insurance, my health insurance, to lower my premiums so that I can continue to make it.
I'm a big guy to eating out. For me and my family, not as much. We're cooking at home a lot more often, and then less family vacations.
I have an addiction to getting my hair done.
You have to give up getting your hair done?
Yes.
I think we gave up vacations and other luxury purchases.
Let's finish up by talking about Social Security. I first started looking at public opinion on this topic way back in 2003. What struck me from these swing voter focus groups, compared to my prior work, was the very low level of understanding about the challenges facing the system today. For example, 10 respondents agreed that Social Security needs to be fixed. But when I asked what needs to be fixed, I heard things like this.
I guess I don't know specific call outs. I just want certainty that it's going to be there and not go away.
How they do those determinations and how they go about making that. Some people don't even qualify even at a certain point, or they have to reach a certain age. So when I say requirements too, what's the cutoff? I believe it's like 55 here, correct?
I have a few ideas. First of all, stop borrowing Social Security money and funds for other purposes. Stop taxing it. We've already paid taxes on it. Why are we paying taxes on it when we, again, my husband gets Social Security and we have to pay taxes on it at the end of the year. And also, you get penalized. Like if I take Social Security at age 62, I get penalized for every $2 I earn. Social Security takes $1 out of it. Why is that? So I understand they want you to keep working as long as you can, but I've paid into the system since I was, for many, many years, and I'm being penalized and for that choice.
Security healthcare isn't the best. We could do better. I think if you could fix healthcare.
I'd like the option to opt out of it and take care of my own retirement because I don't trust them with my money.
Only one respondent gave an answer demonstrating a knowledge of the core problem.
We need to create new funding or increase the Social Security tax on income wages, or else we're going to face that cliff in 2032 where 20-30% reduction benefits for everyone.
I then asked whether, if President Trump fails to propose solutions to fix Social Security, he will bear some responsibility if the program can't pay full benefits in 6 years. Just 7 thought he would bear that responsibility. One person who didn't, Linda, had this exchange with me.
Linda, why wouldn't he bear any responsibility? He would know about a looming crisis years in advance and he failed to do anything about it. Why wouldn't that be his responsibility?
Why would it be his responsibility?
Well, let me ask you this. If you're the CEO of a company and you know the pension fund is going to run out of money in 6 years, but you don't intend to be the head of the company in 6 years, you have no responsibility in fixing that problem 6 years in advance when all the actuaries have told you that there's going to be a shortfall in 6 years?
Well, how can they fix it?
So there's no way to fix Social Security?
I think people need to keep working and paying into it.
Okay, so assuming the trust fund runs out of money in 6 years and there's a shortfall. So
do you really think that's going to happen?
Well, it's got a multi-dollar long-term liability, Social Security does. So So what do you think is going to happen when the trust fund can't pay any more benefits and it's exhausted? How do you envision that playing out?
So I don't, how do you envision that it's Trump's responsibility to fix it? What can he do?
Okay, well, I'm just asking the question, which is,
Yeah.
and I use the analogy of the CEO who has a pension fund that's going to run out of money in 6 years. You wouldn't think that that CEO has some responsibility to deal with that 6 years before the crisis happens?
Well, I don't know what they could do about it.
Okay, so basically so in your mind, what happens? It just runs out of money and then like we just deal with the consequences in 2032?
I hope that's not the case, but yeah.
Finally, we talked about two possible solutions: cutting benefits for wealthy and upper middle class retirees, and raising the cap on how much higher income workers pay in payroll taxes. 8 thought cutting benefits would be fair, and 11 thought lifting or eliminating the cap on payroll taxes would be fair. Thanks for joining us again this month. Please forward this link to a friend, and please join us again next month.